Einen wunderschönen herzlich willkommen zurück zu einer weiteren Folge von Lamplight City. Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, was ich letzte Folge gemacht habe. Es ist schon wirklich einige Tage her, seitdem ich gespielt habe. Jetzt wird es aber an der Zeit. Ich weiß noch, wir waren in der Opiumhöhle, kamen nicht weiter. Wir waren dort, da ist ja auch der Mord davor geschehen. Hier unten waren wir auch schon, haben gequatscht. Es fehlt noch der Tierpräparator. Den haben wir noch nicht gemacht. The Crimson Cat, glaube ich auch nicht. Bäckerei waren wir schon, war nicht sehr hilfreich. Ronins Wohnung waren wir schon. Ich würde mal sagen, wir gehen jetzt erstmal zum Tierpräparator. Das sieht cool aus.
Hello and welcome to the Gripsome Taxidermy Shop. Please let me know if I can be of service.
Ja, wir gucken erstmal, was ist das denn hier? Das ist die Grinsekatze, ist das die Grinsekatze von Alice im Wunderland?
Is that supposed to be a lion?
Nee.
I wonder how many people it took to bring down this brute. There's a small button on the base.
Oh.
Just when I thought I'd seen it all. What will they think of next?
Okay, das ist so ein kleiner Automat.
Reminds me of the one in the Dupree house, except that one actually looked alive. There's a small button on the base.
The small button. Los, push the button.
Welcome to the Gripsome Taxidermy Shop. Please enjoy our displays and be sure to consider us for all your taxidermy needs. Just a reminder, we stuff animals only.
Okay. Oh, nee, das wollte ich nicht.
Well,
Das wollte ich nicht. So, das ist der Verkäufer. Okay, was haben wir da hinten? Tierköpfe.
Exotic dead fauna from every other continent. You never even need to leave Vespuccia.
Ja.
I thought owls were supposed to be wise. How'd this one let itself end up on display in a place like this?
Das ist aber gemein. Hier haben wir einen Gang.
That leads into a room with even more dead things. It's such a shame we haven't the time to stick around and explore.
Oh, ich habe sehr viel Zeit. Mehr haben wir aber jetzt hier nicht. Okay. Ja, Verkäufer, hallo.
I was wondering if you might answer some questions for me.
Of course. What can I help you with?
I was told Ronan Lespay works here. Do you know him?
Ronan? Yes, of course. That is to say, I know he works here. I haven't had much interaction with him. He mostly keeps to himself.
Does he have an office or workspace I might have a look at?
Now, wait just a minute. Why would I let some random stranger off the street in to look at an employee's workspace?
Because I'm a private investigator and I'm trying to get some information.
Well, even if that is the case, I'm afraid you're out of luck. Ronan does have a workspace, but it's completely bare. He doesn't keep anything here.
Okay. Der sieht sehr bleich aus. Ich glaube, das ist, was mit diesen ausgestopften Tieren hat das was zu tun, oder?
Were you aware that Ronan was murdered 4 nights ago?
I had no idea. That's awful. What happened?
That's what I'm currently trying to find out. Do you know if Ronan had any enemies? Anyone who might want to do him harm?
No. As I said, I didn't speak with him much, or know much about him. But now that I think about it, I did notice a strange man waiting around outside the shop a few days ago.
Aha, ein strange man, okay.
Anything you can tell me about the shop?
Geklickt.
Plenty. This is New Bretagne's most sophisticated taxidermy shop. Unlike other taxidermists, we work with modern technology to get results they could only dream of.
What does that mean exactly?
Using steam tech, we are able to create the illusion of life in these beasts. Just take a look at our floor samples. The parrot and gorilla are 2 of our finest works. They really speak for themselves. Well, the parrot does at least. I think it would frighten our customers if the gorilla did too. And once ethericity is harnessed as a viable source of energy, we'll get even better results.
This guy is way too excited about bringing dead things back to life.
Yes, fascinating. Moving on. Tell me about this strange man you saw.
At the time, I didn't think much of him. But the more I recall, the more I realized he was being very suspicious.
What did he do?
He just stood outside across the street, but he seemed to be focusing on the building. It was as though he was waiting for someone.
Do you remember what this man looked like?
I didn't get a very good look at him, but I do remember some things. He was tall and had a heavy build, like a boxer or a dock worker. He had a beard, I think, or mutton chops at the very least. And as far as I can recall, he was wearing all black. He also had on some kind of cap. I'm sorry I can't give you a better description, but that's all I was able to distinguish. My eyesight isn't very good.
Warum hast du keine Brille auf?
It'll have to do. Thank you for your help.
Das könnte sogar ein Albino sein, oder? So bleich wie er ist und blondes Haar.
So how did you get this job?
Oh, it isn't a terribly exciting story, I'm afraid. I just saw an ad in the Gazette for a clerk position. I never expected to learn so much about taxidermy.
I'm sure he's amazing conversation at parties.
Any thoughts on the recent election?
I'd really rather not talk about it. I don't know how the people of this country could put someone like Hart Leroy in charge.
It's obviously because he holds the interests of the common man above all else.
So, you're just like all the other cowards who think steam tech is dangerous. Well, I hope you like the idea of living in the Dark Ages, because that's where Leroy is going to take us.
Perhaps it's best if we drop the subject entirely. Thank you for your help.
I'm here to serve.
Kann es sein, dass die anders reagieren, je nachdem, wie man gewählt hat? Ist ja krass. Okay. Grinsekatze. Wie guck mal hier eine Crimson Cat.
Ah, the Crimson Cat. One of my favorite underground clubs. Ooh, I spent some wild nights here. Which reminds me, I wonder if Stefan is still working the bar these days.
Vielleicht, guck
The
mal.
place has been around for quite some time. That well-dressed feline is Red, the official mascot.
Okay, die Frau ist nix hier. Guck mal, die wippt schön Fuß, schön, Takt. Oh, jetzt wird's asynchron. Jetzt ist wieder synchron. Wie auch immer. So, was haben wir denn hier hübschen?
Looks like a view of Claremont Street with St. Denis Cathedral in the background. Call me old-fashioned, but I've always felt the piano should be played by an actual human. These automated ones just don't have any soul.
Ja, vor allem, die verspielen sich nicht, ne?
Seagrave's Stasholine, high-quality mustache wax. You know, I always wondered what you'd look like with a mustache.
Schnurrbart, Bart, Vollbart, das ist es.
Attention customers. Use of Dr. Tennyson's Vigor pills while under the influence of alcohol may cause loss of consciousness. It's nice to see this establishment looking out for its patrons. Good old Bollingworth Ale. Unlike so many other things in life, it never lets you down. Well, not while you're drinking it anyway. The next morning is another story entirely. Fine beer always served here. Good to know. Quite the selection. It rivals even the Angel.
Okay.
Looks like they've got Bollingworth, Millhopper, and Brooklyn Lager. Not a bad set of beers.
Also, wenn er es sagt, dann wird das schon stimmen, ne? Seemann.
Beg your pardon. Your name wouldn't happen to be Jimmy.
Ach, Jimbo, genau.
Yeah. Who's asking?
Miles Fordham, private investigator.
Can a guy enjoy his shore leave without being harassed by the law? I've done nothing wrong.
I didn't say you had, and I'm most certainly not the law. I just want to ask you a few questions.
All right, fine.
Jetzt bin ich mal gespannt. Das ist der schwarz gekleidet, der Mann in Koteletten, Hafenarbeiter. Ist doch die Beziehung, ne?
You know Ronan Spey?
I knew him, yeah.
Knew him?
He and I haven't spoken recently. In about a month, actually. Things didn't go so well last time.
How do you mean?
Let's just say we didn't part on the best of terms. He made it very clear that he didn't want to speak to me again.
Warum das denn? Die waren doch ein Paar, oder?
Were you aware that Ronan was murdered?
What? No, when? What happened?
He was shot outside a tavern in Chumley 4 nights ago.
Chumley? What was he doing there?
I was hoping perhaps you could tell me.
I honestly don't know. Ronan hardly went out, and he especially never crossed the river.
Why was that?
I think he was just too scared of the world to go out and see it for himself. He was happy enough reading about it in his books or collecting things I brought him back from my travels. Honestly, that's what I liked most about him. He was just an average, boring man. It was just the sort of balance I needed in my life.
That's pretty much the exact same reason I always enjoyed working with you, Miles.
Oh, das war böse.
You and Ronan had a special relationship, didn't you?
Mr. Fordham, we're in an underground club. You don't have to tap dance around it. Yes, Ronan and I were a couple. At least up until last month.
What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
we had a misunderstanding. Ronan thought I had been seeing someone else. He was extremely jealous. I tried to explain that he had it all wrong, but he wouldn't hear me out. I was going to give him some time to cool off, but, well, that's not going to happen now, is it?
If it's any consolation, I found a letter you wrote him, which he still kept in his desk.
Damn. Thank you for telling me that.
Weil wir ihn gefunden haben, ne?
Where does the name Jimbo come from?
It's just a nickname. My real name's James Bowcroft.
And what is it you do?
I'm a sailor. I thought you detective types were supposed to be extra observant. Shouldn't you be able to tell me what my occupation was just by looking at my fingernails or something?
Sorry to disappoint. Perceptiveness is important in my line of work, but I'm also just a man.
I think perhaps Jimbo has been reading too many of those detective stories in Brentwood.
Bestimmt. Bestimmt.
Do you have any opinions about the recent election?
Not really. I'm usually way at sea, so I don't keep up with politics. The sea's got her own laws. Anyway, I can't vote, so it's really none of my concern.
But you're still affected by the decisions the Prime Minister makes.
Not very fair, is it, Mr. Fordham?
No, but hopefully Mr. Leroy will stand up for equal rights.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Something tells me we've reached a dead end. You should give Mrs. Morgan the bad news.
Das ist jetzt eine Sackgasse. Nein, ich will den Fall nicht als Nee. Nein, nie.
I was beginning to wonder when you'd show up.
Well, wonder no longer. I'm here and I need to see Dr. Edwards.
Oh, I see how it is. He helped you solve a case, and now you don't have time for us lowly front desk clerks.
Na.
That's just the way it goes, Upton. Maybe next time you should pick a nicer coffee house.
Right. You know the way. Snelling isn't in today, so you're all clear.
Ah, super.
Well, that's a relief. Thanks, Upton.
Wir werden mit ihr mal
Talk
sprechen.
for a moment, Upton?
Certainly. What's on your mind?
You wouldn't happen to know anything about Ronan Le Spay, would you?
Probably nothing more than you already know. His body is in the mortuary, and the reason for his murder is unknown. I suggest you speak with Dr. Edwards.
Ja, hab ich vor. So.
How are things with you?
Better than last week, but plenty of feathers still ruffled around here.
What happened?
You have to ask. Snelling was not happy with you turning up at the Latham crime scene. He was a right inquisition around here. Snelling going around to interrogate everyone, trying to ferret out a leak.
So he suspects.
I'm afraid so. I managed to calm him down some and divert suspicion. He thinks someone on the force is speaking to the Gazette, not to you directly.
Well, that's some kind of relief. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Oh, don't worry about me. Well, maybe worry about me a little.
Ja klar, Upton. Alles gut.
That was one hell of an election, wasn't it?
That it was. I don't know how he managed it, but I'm glad Leroy won.
I feel the same. Atwood seemed convinced he had it in the bag.
I think he just grossly underestimated how much the Ligeia disaster affected everyone. Thought we could go on like nothing happened. Hell, if Prince Harold hadn't been aboard, we would have. Now, isn't that sad?
Upton, I need you to put out a bulletin. There's someone I need found.
Oh, who's that?
I don't know his name. I only have a description.
All right, I'll need to ask you a few questions. Could you describe the man's height and build?
Groß und
He's
breit.
tall, with a large build.
All right. What color is his hair?
I
Schwarz.
believe it's black.
All right. Do you know of any unique details that might make him easier to identify?
Bart oder Koteletten?
He has a beard, or mutton chops.
I see. Well, I'll put out the bulletin, but that's a bit of a generic description. All right. The bulletin is out. I'll let you know if I hear anything.
Thanks, Upton. I appreciate the help.
Können wir das konkretisieren wieder?
Can we talk for a moment, Upton?
Certainly. What's on your mind?
Okay, könnten wir
I'll let you get back to work.
konkretisieren.
And you'd better do the same.
So, dann wollen wir mal einen Leichenbestatter. Die wollen ja, dass wir den Fall beenden. Ich glaube aber nicht, dass wir den beenden wollen, müssen, dürfen. Wo ist die Leiche? Ist ja was Neues? Ich glaube nicht, ne? Wir brauchen hier nicht extra zu gucken.
Empty for now. That's most definitely a good thing.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything, Edwards.
Ah, Fordham. Always a pleasure.
Ah,
You
schön.
got time for some questions?
Of course.
So, jetzt aber.
So what can you tell me about Ronan Lespay?
Caucasian male, approximately 27 years old. Died of blood loss as a result of being shot at close range. He was brought in 4 nights ago. I performed the postmortem the following day. After that, his next of kin was contacted. I believe his sister came to identify the body.
Any personal opinions on what might have happened?
Well, the fact he was shot at such a close range would suggest it was done by someone he knew. And robbery doesn't appear to be a motive, since his wallet was found on the body with money in it. Beyond that, your guess is as good as mine.
Better, I hope.
Did the postmortem reveal anything?
Quite a few things, actually. Mr. Lespay was extremely inebriated when the shooting took place. There was enough alcohol in his blood to presume he had been drinking for hours before his death. I also managed to remove the bullet from his heart. It's a .36 caliber lead ball, standard revolver shot. It shouldn't be too hard to match to a weapon, provided you can find it.
Okay, danke für den Hinweis.
Did you notice anything unusual about the clothes Mr. Lespay was wearing?
Unusual? Not really. They seemed a bit big for him, but that's all.
His sister seemed convinced that they didn't belong to him.
That's a distinct possibility, but I couldn't say for sure. He could have just been a sloppy dresser.
So no murder weapons been found?
That's right. Either the killer still has it, or the police just overlooked it. If you happen across any weapons in your investigation, be sure to bring them to me. I can tell you if it matches the bullet.
Thank you, Edwards. I'll be on the lookout. How's the coroner business?
Things have been pretty dead around here lately.
Don't quit your day job, Edwards. What are your thoughts on the election?
There was an election?
I think our friend Edwards needs to get out a bit more.
I'll be going now, Edwards.
Take care, Fordham. And remember, not everyone gets to leave the morgue alive. So consider yourself lucky that you can.
Okay, kriegen wir hin. Hauen wir wieder ab. Wir haben ein paar mehr Informationen. Ich bin mal gespannt, wie... Was jetzt hier für... Nee... Das muss lösbar sein.
Can we talk for a moment, Upton?
Certainly. What's on your mind?
Can I try giving you that description again? I may have more details now.
Ach so?
Sure. More details will definitely help. Could you describe the man's height and build?
Ja, groß und breit.
He's tall, with a large build.
All right. What color is his hair?
I'm sure it's brown.
All right. Do you know of any unique details that might make him easier to identify?
I was told he was dressed all in black.
I see. Well, I'll put out the bulletin,
Okay.
but that's a bit of a generic description.
Okay, wir brauchen
All
mehr.
right. The bulletin is out. I'll let you know if I hear anything.
Thanks, Upton. I appreciate the help.
Ich meine, wir können alle Kombinationen jetzt reinknallen, dann bekommen wir eben halt so die Möglichkeiten dazu, ne? Ich will noch nicht Bescheid sagen. Uptons Apartment, Ronans Wohnung. Warte mal, ich glaube, wir haben doch hier einen Zutrittscode gekriegt.
No answer. Looks like you blew your chances with this place.
Schade.
Moment of your time, if I may.
Right, but make it quick.
I wonder if you could tell me if you saw a man of this description at the Silent Raven on election night. He's tall, strong build, with a beard or mutton chops, dressing all in black and possibly wearing a cap.
Oh, aye. Cormac remembers seeing a fella like that.
What was he doing?
Kept going in and out of the bar. When he was inside, he stood near the voting booths, hardly moving a muscle.
And when he was outside?
That, Cormac couldn't say.
Did you notice anything else about him?
Yes. Cormac noticed him come in and speak with Nicole, the barmaid, after the commotion outside.
Is that right? That's very interesting. I'll let you return to your work.
Be mindful on your way out.
Ich glaube, nächste Folge müssen wir mal mit jemandem sprechen. Ich glaube schon. Vielen Dank fürs Zusehen und bis zur nächsten Folge. Euer Firefox.